Hello. Volvo Car India recently rolled out the XC40 Recharge from its facility in Hoskote in Karnataka, marking a significant milestone for the carmaker's EV journey in India. To talk more about it, we have with us today Mr. Jyoti Malhotra, Managing Director, Volvo Car India. Jyoti, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you.
Hello, Dipanshu. A pleasure is mutual.
So let's talk about this whole transition, Jyoti, from ICEs to EVs, hybrids. Let's have the perspective from Volvo Car India.
Yeah, so I think let's start from, let's take one step backward and start from there.
Right.
As we all know, climate change is there. I think we can't ignore it anymore.
Sure.
And as a responsible manufacturer, we take all the responsibility. And that is where we as Volvo decided globally that we need to do this transition.
Sure.
So from diesel to petrol to ultimately to electric vehicles. That's the transition that we're talking about.
Right.
But I think in the end, it is very important that it is not just about selling electric cars. I think things are beyond that. How do we design our cars is equally important.
Right.
By using the right sort of recyclable material.
Right.
And at designing stage, you can make those changes.
Sure.
Right. Then how do you produce your cars? What sort of energy you use there? Are they sustainable? Are they in the right direction when it comes to climate change? So I think those are the things we look into our account. And same comes to when we say, how do we sell our cars?
Sure.
And specifically coming from a selling perspective, we see that now there is more demand for people to go online. Can we reduce the carbon footprint by sort of going down and selling cars directly to customers online and maybe cut down the customer journey accordingly? So there is a lot happening there. Specifically in India, we moved from our diesels to mild hybrids.
Right.
And from mild hybrids, our journey is to transition to full electric cars like battery electric vehicles.
Sure.
That's the journey that we are on.
Sure. Specific to EVs, what is the kind of opportunity that you see in the Indian market, particularly in the segments that you play in?
Yeah, so I think we see a lot of, I would say, tailwinds when it comes to electric vehicles, and that is visible across.
Right.
Whether it's a two-wheeler, whether it's a small commercial vehicles, or it is in personal passenger vehicles. For luxury EVs, I think the tailwinds are even stronger. And why I say so? Because I think our insights, which we did with our consumers, we see customers have in very short span moved from curiosity to something of awareness, and now they're ready to buy cars. And when we first sort of started taking pre-orders for our first XC40 Recharge, our first electric car, because people just came in and I was like, I think in few hours we were sold out for rest of the year.
Right.
So I think this is happening.
Sure.
And it is here. It's up to us now, how do we meet this demand?
Right.
So I think within the passenger vehicle, the e-luxury vehicle market will move faster and stronger.
Okay. So since you talked about the market, the customer sentiment towards EVs, of course, that's been on a rise. But from a company's perspective, it's not just about the selling part, right? You also need to ensure that there's a proper after-sales service. How are you going about sort of building that network?
Yeah, so it is, I think, as I said earlier, it is not just about setting or selling only electric cars. It is much beyond that. So one part, as I said, is focus on online. So we are developing digital tools. We have started selling these XC40 Recharge orders come through online thing. Although we partner very strongly with our retailers.
Sure.
At retailers' end, it is also important. We are working on a program to ensure that retailers also take sustainability initiatives. So most of our dealers now have solar panel installed for their energy.
Right.
So that makes it sort of much more better when it comes to environment. Same way, we are now encouraging customers who are buying our electric cars, we are encouraging them to not use the grid power, rather install their own solar panels and use at least for charging their cars. So we are encouraging them to do that.
Sure.
So there is a lot that we are doing to make electrification not just about selling cars or just selling electric cars, but things beyond that.
Got it. How much can India really contribute to Volvo's global EV sort of targets that Volvo has set?
Yeah, so I think it is not just about, I would say, volume. I think India is a very potential market from many other perspectives.
Sure.
Right. So globally, we have said that we want to become a full electric car company by 2030.
Right.
I think in India we can do faster. Is the first thing.
Okay.
By 25, globally we are saying 50% of electric, all cars that we sell are going to be electric.
Right.
I think we can do, our internal ambition is to do, I would say, close to 80% electric cars by 2025. 5,
Okay.
which means we are on the same path as global,
Right.
but we can do it faster.
Got it.
And that's what we see. And I think we have early signs which tell us that we are on the right path.
Got it. And this is across the product lines that you, of course, offer in the Indian
Yeah.
market.
So I think the way we have planned is every year we start bringing one electric car. So we brought in XC40 in this year, 2022.
Right.
Next year we are going to bring C40.
Okay.
And thereafter there will be one electric car every year.
All right.
So I think we transition from this to 25. And by 25, I think we believe and our ambition is to go 80% all cars across all car lines
Okay.
are going to be electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles. That's our ambition. That's where we want to go.
All right. So in that situation, Jyoti, how does your hybrid strategy work out?
Yeah. So I think our transition from diesel was to move to plug-in hybrids, right?
Right.
And we had option to go from plug-in hybrids to first, let's say we have, from mild hybrid to plug-in hybrid and then to electric vehicles.
Right.
But I think if you see the sort of signals from the government, the way the different tax structures have been planned out, I think government is nudging us, everyone, to go full electric and not for hybrids. And that's what we want to do. We believe electric vehicle is the future. So we are going to transition directly to battery electric vehicles rather than going through the plug-in hybrid route.
Okay.
That's the route that we are taking.
Okay. You did speak about certain challenges. The ecosystem also has to develop, right? Yeah. But you've also announced a price increase of all your products recently. So talking of challenges for the future, particularly for EVs, what do you think are the major concerns?
So I think people keep talking about one key thing and one key word. I'm sure you would have also heard a lot is range anxiety.
Right.
Is something which people keep talking about. And associated with that is the charging infrastructure, right? So this is, I think, any conversation you start on EVs will always start with something like this.
Right.
But the reality is, and especially I talk about our segment, with a range of more than 400 kilometers that is there in XC40, and with each car delivered to customer with a personal charging solution. I think this anxiety is largely taken care of.
Right.
And that's why I say in our segment, our customers probably have, our data shows more than 2-3 cars in the family. So there's always another car to back up if you really want to go long distance.
Got it.
But if you want to go to a distance like 300-400 kilometers, let's say you want to go from Delhi to Chandigarh and back, people are already doing it. And I think these anxieties are going away, especially with a 400 plus range. I'm sure this will be taken care of. So this is the one part.
Sure.
The other part is people who are genuinely concerned about environment. They keep talking about, okay, what about the power? If you are selling electric cars, but they are going to be charged by the grid power, which is largely based on coal and other energy. So what is the fun?
Right.
And that is why we have set up a program that we are encouraging our customers. We are doing a feasibility study for all our consumers.
Okay.
That anybody who's buying a electric car, we do a feasibility study, both commercial and technical, that a solar panel can be installed at their premises.
All right.
And I think that is what we want. We want to encourage. And this study is done free of cost. Although once the study is given, customer has to buy it.
Right.
But there is already an economic sense there.
Sure.
And we believe this is how we can ensure that our customers are not just buying electric cars, but they're actually using renewable energy. And that is what we want to do.
Okay. Very interesting, Jyoti. So we've talked about products, right? But what are the opportunities that Volvo Car India has in the Indian market beyond products? Do you see any other opportunity?
I think the opportunity that I see is we are becoming more and more, cars are becoming more and more connected, right? So we are becoming more digital savvy.
Sure.
We are looking at developing digital tools to serve our customers. Indian customers, as you know, we talk about all the time, we talk about demographic dividend, that Indian consumers are young, they are globally exposed, they know the technology. So people are wanting it. And our early, I think this XC40 Recharge, when we went online, we were confident, but in general, we heard that everybody coming in saying, no, consumer is doing a lot of research online, but when it comes to actually buying a car, which is a big amount, customers may not find it convenient. But the reality is customers are ready to come forward and do that. So that's a big opportunity.
Sure.
Because what it does is it sort of ensures that we use this whole ecosystem in a very efficient manner.
Right.
And that's what we are doing.
Okay.
And I think beyond that, there are other things that we can do, as I was talking about the solar energy for our consumers. We are also doing, as part of our CSR, our corporate social responsibility. Again, we want to provide solar panels to the public health centers, the small little. So we have already done 5 last year. We'll be doing more this year. These are like small hospitals in rural areas.
Sure.
So we went to places in Gurgaon district, but which are beyond the Gurgaon that we know, the urban Gurgaon.
All right.
We went to Faridabad, in many places in NCR. And I think that's our commitment.
Right.
That whatever we do in such a way that we are promoting sustainability. And I think this is the signal and symbol from Volvo. And Volvo is known for safety.
Right.
But we are now saying sustainability is as important as safety.
Sure.
And in India, we want to take that path.
Okay. Talking about your network, what is the current size of your network, and how are you looking at expanding it?
Yeah, so currently we have 24 outlets across India and sales and service outlets. And I think we believe, as far as sales is concerned, we have, I think, with this the partnership we're talking about, online direct.
Right.
I think these retailers will continue to work with them.
Okay.
Workshops will evolve from what they are today to going forward.
Right.
So I think from a sales channel perspective, I think a lot of digital tools are being developed. From a, I would say, service perspective, a lot of capabilities have to be developed to take care of electric cars, because these are new sort of technical things which are coming. So we need to ensure that the competence is built up at our workshops and they can attend to these cars.
Right.
And beyond that, I would say we are so far not in used car business in India. Globally, we have a program called Volvo Select. We have done a small pilot last year with two retailers, starting this in a small way.
Okay.
But we want to build that program.
All right.
That's what 23 we want to really build. So I think these things put together is, I think, where we see our Volvo brand developing in India.
Okay. So 3 key areas that I can talk about: EVs as a focus, your digital sort of footprint within your retail segment, and the third, like you said, is getting into the used car in a stronger manner.
Yes.
Correct. So your vision for Volvo Cars India, let's say for 2025, you've already talked about one, which is 80% of EVs by 2025, and 2030. What did you say about that?
No, I think we are completely aligned to our global strategy. So, but as I said, we can do it faster.
Right.
So by 25, our ambition is that we want to be selling 80% electric cars, and all of these through online channels.
Okay.
Is the first thing.
Okay.
By 2030, we are definitely going to be all electric car company.
Right.
And maybe, as I said, maybe earlier. So that's where we stand.
Okay. Wonderful talking to you, Jyoti. Thank you so much for speaking to Mobility Outlook.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.